So this is a bit of a random video, but I found myself here in the last full day of my stay in this city, Cuenca, Ecuador. We've been here for about 2 months, and I'm in a situation where I've left a bunch of things that I've got to do to the very last minute. So I've got to do them all today. And luckily I don't have much work. I don't have much else on today. So I thought I would just film and document what I get up to today. This city has been incredible for what we're doing, you know, staying for a couple months, doing some work, and just sort of lightly exploring the city every couple of days. I wouldn't rush to recommend it as a go-to tourist hotspot, but from what we've done in 2 months, I definitely could write up a good 2 or 3 day tourist plan if anyone were to come here. I'm just filming on the rooftop terrace of our Airbnb, so below those steps down there is the living space. We're right on kind of the main road. Not the main road is in like a highway, but where all the bars and restaurants and parties are on the weekends. It does get a little bit noisy, but there's nothing you can't handle. So further that way would be the city centre. You know, got some nice churches and pretty cool architecture and buildings. Over this way, you can see it's the start of a really cool national park. Some huge mountains that get up to, I think, like 4,500 meters of altitude. So it gets really dry and really, you know, the air gets quite thin up there, but it's the most amazing scenery. I'll try and put some photos on the screen. And then this way would be facing towards the outskirts of the city. So you've got a nice little like lookout area up there, a big shopping center, a big mall where we're going to go today twice, you'll see later, and then some more residential areas on the outskirts of the city. So the plan for today, and it sounds a little bit funny, but there are 2 restaurants in this city that I would easily put as 2 of the best restaurants I've ever been to. And they're not really restaurants, they're more like takeaway style food places. The first one is a Venezuelan cafe that do obviously like coffee and drinks, but also food. And the food there is just unbelievable. And the second place is actually just a burger joint. And they, easily the best burgers I've ever had. And I've tried 2 or 3 of their burgers over the last 2 months. And I said to myself that I wanted to try each of those restaurants once more before I leave. And of course, I've left it to the last day. So if I want to leave this city without regrets, I'm going to have to fit both of those restaurants in today. And it's just quite unfortunate that both of those restaurants are very oily and greasy and fatty foods, which is delicious, but it also means that I'm going to have to do a bit of exercise today. So that's also part of today's plan, is to get some chores done, but I'm going to try and exercise along the way. One of the chores I've got to do today is I've got to head to that big building. That's a shopping center where I've been meaning to get a custom name on an Ecuador soccer jersey. I've got one for myself with my name on it, but we've also got a second Ecuador jersey that doesn't have a name on the back, and we've been meaning to go there and get Ana Paula's name on it. And this is, the last day, the last chance to do that. So the plan is to jog up there. It does take like about an hour or 2, so I'm going to jog back, maybe go to one of those restaurants, jog back again, get the jersey, come back. And anyway, hopefully after all that, I'll have space for all this food that I want to eat today. We've also got a bit of food in the fridge that we don't want to waste. So got a lot of eating and a lot of exercising to do today. Right, now you're being switched to point of view camera. That's funny, that's the Venezuelan guy. Let's follow him and get some food from him.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Chévere, ¿tú?
Chévere.
¿Les puedo pedir una arepa de camarón?
Seguro.
Sí. Y las arepas chiquitas que vienen con la sopa, ¿puedo pedir 3?
Sí.
¿Es posible?
Solas.
Sí, para mi novia. Sí.
Ya, se hace, pero sin nada de...
So-
solo las arepas.
No tiene hambre, pero
Ah, ok.
quiere algo.
Ok.
Sí.
¿Alguna bebida?
Sería todo. Gracias.
Perfecto, ya te hago.
Perfecto.
Chao.
Gracias.
While we wait for that food to be cooked, show you a few steps from where we're staying and from that restaurant. There's a really cool little river. This one here, at the moment it's not very full because it hasn't been raining much, but that flows all the way from the national park, those mountains that I was telling you about before, and comes right through the city. And the water's very clean to the point where I'm pretty sure that this city is one of the only cities in Ecuador with fresh, clean tap water. And I think it's even won awards for its cleanliness, which is such a big advantage when you're staying here for 2 months, being able to drink water from the tap as opposed to having to buy bottled water or a filter. So that definitely gives this city some points for livability. Well, I got the food. I thought I was recording the whole last 10 minutes. I was talking to the guy, telling him that his food was incredible, that I'm leaving tomorrow, and we had a little chat, but the camera wasn't recording, which is very unfortunate, but oh well, that happens. All right, we're back on the balcony, ready to eat. This is what I ordered. The best thing on the menu, in my opinion. Essentially, it is a sandwich burger style thing. The bread, it's not bread, it's an arepa, which is basically a thick tortilla that's been deep fried, so it's kind of got that like corn flavor. And then inside, so we've got like a nice kind of like fresh white cheese, pulled beef, black beans, and also fried banana or plantain. Those 4 ingredients, just, I can't even explain the combination of flavors. It is unbelievable. I'm not going to film myself eating this, so I'm just going to eat it and yeah, enjoy the last few bites, because I may never get to try this again, at least from this restaurant. Maybe I'll try and cook it myself, but yeah. So it's 10:30 a.m. and I'm on my way to the shopping center to get Ana Paula's name printed on the back of the soccer jersey. I really wanted to run, or at least jog, to burn off some of the oil from breakfast, but that was such a big meal. It didn't look big, but it was huge. It would have taken like 3 hours to digest, and when it's your last day, I don't want to just sit around waiting for my food to digest for 3 hours. So I'm just walking, and I will eventually have to go back to this shopping center later today and pick up the soccer jersey, so maybe I can do a run then. But it's not the most scenic route. It's kind of along the main highway of the city, like the main boulevard, I guess. But oh well, it's only about a 45-minute walk. Would have been maybe a 15 to 20-minute run, but still a nice day. Nice day for a walk. All right, we made it to the shopping center, the mall. Let's try and find the sports store. Hola, buen día, ¿cómo está? Tengo esta camisa, lo compré en la calle, no es auténtica, pero ¿es posible para agregar un nombre y número? ¿Sí? ¿Y cuántas horas toma?
Unos 15-20 minutos.
Ah, ¿sí? ¿Minutos?
Sí.
Ah, qué bueno.
No demora mucho.
Ah, está bien, perfecto. Pensé que iba a regresar en la tarde o
No.
en horas.
Unos 20
perfecto.
minutos con todo.
Well, he just said that it was going to take 15 to 20 minutes, so there goes my plan of leaving and then coming back in the evening, so, well, maybe no run today. Well, the fact that that's only going to take 15-20 minutes has just freed up a lot of my day, so I'm just going to walk around the shops a bit, maybe try and find a coffee. Oh, let's look at this view. There is the city of Cuenca. I didn't realize there was such a nice view up here. Alright, I'm gonna get a coffee from Juan Valdez. It's a Colombian chain, so it's kind of like Starbucks, but a bit better. Actually, a lot better. Here's my coffee. It's absolutely delicious, very strong. This is like a full cup, and it's got almost the strength of an espresso, but at the same time it's not too bitter or burnt. It's kind of got like a nice sort of dark chocolatey kind of flavor. A little bit of like a citrus sort of thing, a bit lemony, so that brightens it up a bit and takes the edge off. But yeah, this is delicious. All right, coffee's done. Let's see how this shirt turned out. Here we go, bao 26. I'm pretty happy with that. They said that they only had one A left, so they couldn't have done Paula or Ana Paula. We wanted bao anyway, so that looks good. They've even got the number on the front too. 26 on the front. Nice. They did warn me that because it's a fake shirt and it's not from their store, they have no idea how the material is going to react after going through the laundry. So they said it could work perfectly, it could stay on, or it could go through the wash once and all the letters and numbers peel off. So, I mean, that's to be expected with a fake jersey, you know, they can't take responsibility for it, but I guess we'll see what happens. Google Maps is taking me through this path behind all the main streets, which I never knew existed. The view's incredible. It's a lot more peaceful. So we pretty much just have to walk down to that roundabout and then follow that main boulevard until we pretty much get to the accommodation. Well, I'm pretty much almost home now, and I didn't really get the chance to do the run that I was hoping. And since I won't need to go back to the shops and pick up the shirt, I won't really get a chance to run today. And I've got a few hours to try and figure out a way to get my appetite back, because I really do want to go and get a burger for lunch. But considering I had a huge breakfast and a very strong coffee, I think I've got a pretty good plan B. That was a much needed workout. I'm just walking home from the gym, and I was gonna go and shower and whatever and then get lunch later, but honestly, the burger place is just there, just 10 meters away. And what the hell, I'm just gonna get it now. Hola, buen día. ¿Está abierta?
Ya.
Sí? Ah, perfecto. ¿Me puedo pedir una criolla? Y un crispy.
Criolla crispy.
Sí. Alright, so I ended up getting 2 burgers. This one is a beef burger, this one's a chicken burger. Again, I'm not going to film myself eating it, but this is what they look like. Everyone watching this video must think I'm such a glutton, but I promise I rarely eat like this, especially with all these things in one day. Not to mention, I also ended up getting this cheesecake from the burger place. I mean, when you come across a restaurant or a food place as good as that, I can't not try their dessert, especially because it was the only dessert they had on the menu. This is what the cheesecake looks like. It doesn't look very appetizing, but let's see how it tastes. Yeah, that's amazing. I got the passion fruit flavored. It's not too sweet, very cheesy and creamy. It's not my favorite cheesecake. I'd say it's in my top 3. If you know me well, you know what my number 1 cheesecake is. You're probably wondering why I went to a Venezuelan restaurant and then a burger restaurant when I'm in Ecuador instead of getting local Ecuadorian food. And I really like the local Ecuadorian cuisine, but it doesn't jump out to me as much. It's very much like home style cooking, where I've had a lot of kind of like very simple but hearty soups, you know, rice, beans, maybe some grilled chicken or some grilled fish with some veggies on the side. It's actually quite healthy, very filling. They give you huge servings, but it just so happens that these traditional Ecuadorian dishes are very similar to the type of food that I like to cook at home. So if I go 6 days in a week and I cook some rice and veggies and beans and some grilled chicken and soup, for example, I don't really want to go out on the 7th day of the week and get that at a restaurant. So we've been trying a lot of international food, hence the Venezuelan food, the burger place. Here I am 3 hours after eating the cheesecake, and as if one dessert wasn't enough, we needed another one. Something I want to do before the day ends is return some vinyls that I bought. A few weeks ago I bought 7 or 8 records. I listened to them. Now we're leaving, so I'm just going to go back to the record store and give them back. Yo compré esos vinilos hace unas semanas, pero mañana estoy viajando, ya me voy, no tengo espacio en mi maleta. ¿Te puedo dar esos? Entonces puedes venderlos otra vez si quieres, porque ya los escuché a todos y ya me voy. Sí. No para reembolso, no necesito reembolso, just para darte, sí. Porque
pero ya he escuchado y quiere dejar.
estoy viajando, no tengo espacio.
Ah, no puede llevarse.
Exacto, no tengo espacio.
Eso no de promoción.
Claro.
Sí, pero
Ya está bien.
sí, está bien. Ok,
Gracias.
gracias. Hasta luego. I've been very bad at recording the last few hours of today, but we went to the shops to get stuff for our bus ride tomorrow. So we got a bag of mixed nuts and dried fruits, some muesli bars, almond butter flavored, a little bag of chips. We also got insect repellent and a half consumed electrolyte drink. Yeah. And a plastic soap box. Yeah. This video is really turning into something. As one of our last stops of the day, what better way to finish off 2 months in Ecuador than going to a German bar called Wunderbar and getting a mojito. Cheers.